Hello again, everybody. This is Steve coming to you with another Writing Musings. This is number 9, and we also have a guest star here, a coffee cat. This is something I'm gonna be trying with other videos going forward, is to do a boilerplate like this rather than just having the note sheet sitting there like I have been up to this point. I know you guys like the notes, but I'm going to include those. But I'm also going to start doing boilerplates so that it's a little easier to identify them on YouTube and Rumble when you do see these musings. So, anyways, there it is. First item of business. Oops, wrong key. There. Too big. There. Okay. Legal disclaimer. This is because I'm doing this because there's people out there that are going to whine and cry because I'm expressing my opinion. I know that sounds a little snarky, but you deal with this stuff enough, you have to kind of get snarky. It's stupid. But anyways, it's for the whole legal umbrella whatchamadoodie thingy, I have to say that everything I express in these musings and stuff is my personal opinion from my personal experience, and your mileage may vary. So that's out of the way. Let's move on to point 2. I made all of the legal crybaby Karens happy now. Well, probably haven't, but at least they can't do anything now. So, anyways, on to point 2. This right here, this video that you see here, is kind of an interesting video I ran into on YouTube. It's called Thoughts on Sci-Fi Tank Design. And I'm not going to play it. I don't have enough time for that. I try to keep these under 30 minutes, and with 9 points, that's going to be kind of hard today, so I'm going to skip right past this. But yeah, you can copy that into your browser and watch it. It's actually I think it's like 20 minutes. It's kind of interesting. It gets you thinking, if nothing else. I mean, you may not agree with the person who created that, but it gets you thinking. So something to think about if you have tanks, and I'm talking like actual combat tanks that go out and shoot shells, and you're in the middle of a firefight. That kind of tank, not like a water tank or something else. I'm talking about an actual combat battle tank. So, item 3, thought problem. This is one I've been working on. I've come up with a number of different things for mine. I'm not going to share like I did with the puzzle videos, like here's how I came up with it, here was my solution stuff. No, I'm going to say that yeah, I did this, I've walked through it, I've learned my lessons from it, which has actually helped my writing because it's made me think about things that I otherwise wouldn't have thought about until I actually went in and started walking through that thought problem. But anyways, basically the premise of this thought problem is, if you went back in time to say 1850, how easy would it be with just the knowledge that you bring with you? In other words, you can't bring anything else with you. Think kind of like if you watch the Terminator movies, when the guy comes back, or the Terminator comes back, or the hero comes back, like in the first movie. Of course, Schwarzenegger was the hero in the second movie. But anyways, when they come back in time, they come back with nothing, literally no clothes on. Don't ask me how that works. It's stupid. But anyways, if you came back with just the knowledge that was in your head, or maybe you can bring along an iPad or something like that, and you can bring that information with you, how easy, if you took, say, 21st century technology or 21st century knowledge back to the middle of the 19th century, which would be the 1850s, how quickly and how easily could you bring those people up to some state of modernity? If I remember correctly, it was like the late 1700s, early 1800s. They were already starting in the direction of modernity. You get your first steam engines, you get your first steam pumps. Very basic technology. Things that we take for granted now were revolutionary back then. Then you also have the problem of the mentality of, we've always done it this way, so that's the way we're going to keep doing it. The idea of we're going to do something different was very, very foreign to them, and it took a lot to get people to change. Because, you do it this way, your dad did it this way, your granddad, your great-granddad, everybody else before them, they've all done it that way. And that was kind of the mentality in that time period. We've always done it this way, so that's how we're always going to do it. And to move forward technologically, you have to abandon some of that. Not all of it, but some of it. So that's something you're going to come up against. Plus, how many people have, like, like say you have to machine precision parts. Up until the late 1800s, I think. Might have been middle 1800s, because I know there was some pretty good manufacturing, mass production, that was done in the middle to late 1800s, but I don't think they really started getting into high-end precision work until you started getting into the early 1900s. I might be wrong. It might have been late 1800s. I know it was after the Civil War, so it might have been late 1800s that it started showing up. But, it took a monumental leap of technology before you could start getting precision work, and even then it wasn't terribly precision. We didn't really see high-end precision until we got into at least the 1930s, 1920s, 1930s. That's when stuff really started going into the precision area. Now that's not to say they didn't have precision work, but you didn't really see that stuff come around until after the turn of the century. It started showing up before that, after the Civil War, but it really started showing up in the, like, let's say, 1920s, 1930s. Anyways, I'll leave that to you guys to figure out. I've spoke enough on that. Just go through that thought problem, work it out, figure out, maybe look at history and see when those things actually happen. Because I'm doing this off the top of my head. I might be wrong on the dates and time periods, but I'm doing this off the top of my head. But yeah, that would be an interesting one to figure out. Say, like, you landed in 1800, how would you take a society that's in the 1800s and bring them up to, say, the year 2000 in technology? How long would it take? What would you have to do? And if you've seen my other videos, you will remember, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. If I haven't posted this video yet, because my videos are completely out of order now, just with what I've had to do to shuffle things around. So I may not have actually posted this video, although I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, the TLDR is that technology builds technology. You can't get to a higher level of technology until you have the fundamental supporting technology already invented or in use or whatever. I mentioned about Dr. Stone being a great example of this, because they actually walk you through that in that anime. How to go from Stone Age technology to modernity and all the steps that are involved in the middle to get where you need to get. So anyways, I'll leave that alone. I'll let you guys think that one out. Point 4. Further clarification. I mentioned in the previous video about entry versus re-entry. One thing that I forgot to mention is that another name for first-time entry is called planetfall. Planetfall is the first time and only the first time you enter into a planet. Anything else after that's re-entry, because to enter into the planet you have to leave and then come back, so that becomes re-entry. If you've never been there before and that's the first time entering into the atmosphere, landing on that planet, then it's entry, otherwise known as planetfall. So just wanted to clarify on that. Point 5. I have a funny Memeish screenshot. I'll show that to you guys here. I got this off of the Sci-Fi Stories YouTube channel. They do the HFY stuff from Reddit. If you don't follow this channel, please do. These guys are great. There's a bunch of people that do something very similar to this, and they pull the same stories, and they either read them aloud or they do AI or something like that. And like I said, there's a bunch of people who do the same thing, but it's my opinion, out of all the ones I've looked at and listened to, Sci-Fi Stories does it the best out of all of them. The way he presents it, the audio he does, everything is top notch. Yes, he uses AI voices. Some of them actually, the channel creator actually reads it. And I'm not like digging on anybody, but some of those guys probably should get somebody else to read the books. Just saying. That's, again, my opinion. But and your mileage may vary. But I actually like this channel, and getting to the point, since I've gotten off of my little rabbit trail promoting this channel, because I love this channel. They got such great stories up here. I ran into this story. It was titled "We're All Weird Here," and I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I can relate to that. So anyways, I just thought I'd show that to you guys because I thought that was cute, and it was kind of it's a fun little story too if you get a chance to listen to it. Point 6, Blink Drive. I found this on another one of those HFY stories. It's in there. They talk about it as a warp drive, but really it's the way it's used, it acts more like a jump drive. But anyways, that's a different name. And I'm not saying use that name because that name's already used, so you can't use that one. I mean, okay, you can't copyright the name, but somebody else is probably going to go, that's stealing off of this guy because that's such a unique usage for the name, or such a unique name for an FTL drive. Another one that I ran into, and this is years ago at a book, I forget the name of the book, it's been too long, but they had a jump drive in there called a light step drive, which is it's a jump drive. It's, but it's just a different name for a jump drive. So, and I mention these just from the standpoint of, if you want to set yourself apart, be creative in your naming. And here's a couple of good examples of ways to take something that's generic like jump drive or warp drive and make it something unique like blink drive and light step drive. So, be a little creative. Your creativity isn't limited to your story. Your naming has to be creative too. So, anyways. Now, point number 7, Short Story Fridays. What's your thoughts on this so far? I started this, what was it? I started this, I think, at the end of November, beginning of December. Not sure yet. Let me think on that one. Probably go over here to my channel and I can tell you. Because I don't remember. I know, old age. I'll just blame that, right? Yeah, December 1st. Okay. Yeah, the first one up there was the Tin Cup, and then the Gorlon encounter, and then from there it was. Let me think here. Go in my channel thing just to get the list of them. Yeah, Gorlon encounter. Yeah, Self-Inflicted Doom. If you haven't listened to that one, please do. You'll love it. Then I did my God's Greatest Gift, or Love God's Greatest Gift, Christian Pocket Guide. That one's free if you guys want it. You can use it for your church or wherever. Then let's see here. I also have upcoming. I have Ferret's Folly, Tabby the Butler. The Introduction, Sprites Ahoy, and okay, at this point that's all I've got up on YouTube and Rumble at the moment. Those are upcoming. And the Short Story Fridays is basically going to be, I'm going to do a short story every Friday for you guys to listen to. Some of them will be short, like the introduction is only like 5 minutes. It's a page and a half on a Word doc. It's not a big story, but it's a fun one. Gorlon Encounter, that was like a 30-minute, mini epic there, but Self-Inflicted Doom is 20 minutes, I think. Let's see. Yeah, Ferret's Folly is 20 minutes, Tabby the Butler's 30. So some of them are good, healthy listens, but they're not going to go beyond 30 minutes. But there's something fun for you guys to listen to on Fridays. I have plans. I state plans at this point in time because that may change. But I have plans to do my bigger novels and convert those down into audiobook. I'd need the free time to do that, so I may not do that right away. I mean, I'll start the work on it, but they may not get up on YouTube right away. But I'll be doing my 3 primary series, Land of the Lions, Offworld, and Earthfleet. Those average between 21 and 26 chapters, so you're looking at probably about a half a year of those. Those won't go on to the Short Story Fridays. Short Story Fridays are going to be just for the short stories or the mini novels, or not mini novels, the novelettes. In this case, it's not actual novelettes. Well, Well, okay, let me back that up. Yes, there are novelettes in here. Love God's Greatest Gift is a pocket guide. It's 20,000 words, so it's a novelette. Although it's not an actual novel, it's a pocket guide. It's designed. It's a little 3x5 booklet that you would stick in your pocket. It's meant for churches and missionary organizations and stuff like that. But you guys are welcome to listen to it. It's free of charge to everybody. The only thing I charge for is the print books, and I think I've explained that before, that to do the print books I have to charge, but I only charge at cost. But that's another discussion for another time. Going back to the Short Story Fridays, like I say, I'm going to be doing a bunch of short stories. I've got like 55 of them, 56 of them queued up right now to get put on those Short Story Fridays. So we've got a good year of, or I should say, I've got a good year of short stories to go in there. Not counting some other content that I have that's small stuff that is not very big, that would fit in there perfectly. And like I say, Mondays and Wednesdays will probably be a mixture of musings, writing guides, and chapters for my other bigger books. Exactly what I do, when I do it, how I do it, etc. like that. That will be covered in my writing updates. I'm just mentioning them that they're coming because we're talking about Short Story Fridays. So anyways, humility in writing. This is a big one because there is a lot of really arrogant authors out there. I'm not going to name names. You don't need to know who they are. That's irrelevant. This is about you. And when I say you, I include myself in this. Because any author, if you're a good author, you're a bad author, you're either, somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are, how famous you are. You've never published before. You've published and sold 1 million copies of your book or whatever. If you're an author, you need to be humble about everything you do. Because one thing to remember is there is always somebody better than you. Always. You will never have in your life a situation where you find yourself at that pinnacle where you're the best and there's nobody better. It just never happens. I mean, I've been on this earth almost 52 years. I can tell you this much. The moment you think that there is nobody better than you, someone shows up who's better than you. And sometimes they're even better than just better than you. They're like light years better than you. So, yeah, just be humbled. You're doing. Some of you might be doing this for a career. Some of you might be doing it for fun, like me. So you may be doing it that way, but that does not mean you have a right to be arrogant, cocky, snotty. I'm better than you. That kind of thing. That's just wrong. Just don't do that. Don't be that person. Like I say, be humble at all times. And believe me, people will like you a lot more that way. The more, if they realize and understand that you're arrogant or cocky or not humble or something like that, you're likely to lose readers over that. That doesn't matter how great and amazing your books are and your stories and stuff like that. If you are not humble, you are going to turn off so many people. I mean, now there's a difference here too. Being blunt, being honest, does not mean that you're not humble. You can be humble all day long and also bluntly honest. I'm bluntly honest. That's, I don't like pussyfooting around something. I will try to be polite about it, but I'm also going to be honest about it. So, anyways, with that, that being said, I'll leave it there. I'm not going to sit here and try to hammer that into the floor. All I'm going to say is always remember to be humble in all things. Last item, charity giveaway. I know things are really rough right now. A lot of you don't have the money to spend on pretty much anything. You're just doing enough to get food on the table, to pay your bills, things like that. Since this is just a hobby and the And the fees that I charge for the books are there just to, well, the first reason they're there is to help cover costs. You know, it doesn't do much. It doesn't actually cover all the costs, but it does help. The other thing is that the booksellers are more likely to put a book that has a price tag on it towards the top. They you know, people who give away their books for free, they will often kind of disappear you. Not like you can't find that, you know, people can't find your book. It's just that it becomes really hard for people to find your book. And you know, the those who charge a fee have tend to have better page ranking on these resellers than those who don't. So hence why I charge what I do. And there's a whole huge formula to that. I won't explain it because even I don't completely understand it. But sorry, my throat's clogging up on me right now. But anyways, that's a whole different subject for another time. I'll cover that in a different, you know, in a different video at some point. But anyways, for those of you who want my books and you can't afford the books, let me know. And if it's not you, maybe it's somebody else, let me know. I will happily give you a free copy of any one of my books so that you can read them and enjoy them. Because like I say, I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because I love it, and I want you guys to read them and enjoy them and benefit from them and come away feeling blessed from the experience. So yeah, if you want a free copy of the book and you need it, please let me know. If you've already bought a copy of my book or one of my books and you want to share it with somebody, you are welcome to share it all day long. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, be like, "You filthy pirates, how dare you steal my book?" I'm not that kind of person. You know, if one person buys a copy of a book and gives it to 300 other people, fine. Did all 300 people like the book? You know, even if only 100 or 200 of them liked the book, I'm happy. Like I say, I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the experience, for the fun of it, for making others happy, for giving me something enjoyable to do. And so yeah, to me, I have no problems with sharing the books. That's one reason I do not permit DRM on my books. Now, some sellers will not allow you to sell on their platform unless you have DRM. And I can explain DRM if you want to. If not, go look it up. It's DRM is digital media. No, digital rights management. That's what it is. Basically, it's this fancy digital lock and key on your on an ebook that you fully and completely and legally own, but they don't want you to have freedom to use it however you want to. That's DRM. But that's a whole other topic. I can cover that at a different time. But anyways, as I was saying, if you want, you know, if you have a copy and you want to share it with friends, go ahead. If you want a free copy and you need it and you can't afford to buy it, I can give you one. You know, I mean, please buy it if you can, because that helps me cover costs. But if you can't afford it, let me know. I'll be glad to do that. Let me think here. I think that's all for right now. I'm already at 24 minutes, so I think I'm going to cut it off there. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, etc. like that, please feel free to let me know. I'm always open to talking with everybody and discussing thoughts, ideas, concerns, anything that you want to discuss. So anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.